So welcome everybody to your Yin practice this morning. We're going to begin in a reclined position, so finding your way down now onto your mat. Perhaps you take a bolster underneath the knees, perhaps you bend through the knees, and perhaps you allow the soles of the feet to come onto the mat, knees together if that feels more comfortable for your lower back. Once you're set, just make any final adjustments that you need to your position. Closing down the eyes. And we'll start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and sigh that breath out through the mouth. Take that 2 more times deeply in, out through the mouth. Taking one more deep breath in, out through the mouth. And then just relaxing your breathing. So allow the breath now just to come and go. Try not to force the breathing in any way. Just allow. Take a few moments just to find a natural rhythm. And then begin to notice how the breath feels in the body this morning. Perhaps you're feeling that sense of coolness on the nostrils as you inhale, warmth as you exhale. Notice how deeply you're breathing. Are you breathing right down into the base of the lungs, or is the breath a little more shallow this morning? Are you breathing evenly? Perhaps you exhale for longer than you inhale, or the other way around. There's no right or wrong, you're just noticing the rhythm of your natural breath. Noticing too if the breath feels as though it's coming easily this morning. Sometimes we can feel as though we're chasing the breath a little, so notice if that's the case. Are you able to relax the breathing? Just let it happen. As you continue to breathe naturally, you begin to notice that expansion of the body as you inhale, contraction as you exhale, that gentle, rhythmic movement of the body. So allow that movement now. Don't push the movement, don't force the movement, just allow it to happen. Notice how far into the body you feel that movement. Perhaps you can feel beyond the lungs. Perhaps you feel the ribs expanding, the belly expanding, collarbones lifting, all as you inhale, gently settling back as you exhale. Perhaps you feel further into the body. Perhaps you can feel that breath expanding all the way down into the pelvis and then releasing. Feeling into that movement of the body as you breathe. And then noticing other sensations in the body now. Beyond those associated with the breath, what else can you feel? Begin to move with your mind all the way through the body. Searching out sensation. Making a mental note. What that sensation is, where it is. And perhaps even noticing whether it feels pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Is it a strong sensation? Mild? Fleeting? Lasting? What else can you discern about the sensations that you're feeling right now? Continuing to explore the different sensations in the body with the mind. Moving into every corner of the body, every cell, feeling in. And then moving the awareness from the physical body into the emotional body. What emotion is present for you this morning? Take a moment to let those emotions surface. Try not to push any emotions away. Try not to judge any emotion that you feel. Just noticing what emotion presents for you. What can you feel? Resting in those emotions for a moment longer, accepting, acknowledging them. And taking your awareness now into the mental body, into the mind, and noticing how your mind is working, how it's processing, what it's processing. As much as possible, standing back and observing the working of the mind. So perhaps you can remove yourself so much so that you can discern individual thoughts as they come and go without getting involved, without following those thoughts through to a conclusion, just noticing, this is what I'm thinking. These are my thoughts. Bring your awareness now back to your breathing. Notice any changes to the breath. Perhaps the breath feels a little more balanced, a little smoother, a little calmer than when you began. And as you breathe, begin to visualize that every inhalation brings you energy. Energy in whichever form you wish to view it. But energy entering your body on the breath, nourishing your body, strengthening your body. And as you allow your body to breathe in energy, allow it to rest heavily and softly. And visualize now your body absorbing energy from the earth. All those points of the body in contact with the floor, absorbing energy now, drawing it up through the earth, replenishing. drawing energy into the body through the breath, absorbing energy through the body from the earth. And as you continue to draw energy into the body, begin to visualize now energy pathways in the body. These energy pathways, meridians, traditional Chinese medicine, running through the body. Thousands of different meridians, all coalescing into major meridians in the body. These meridians traveling through different areas of the body. These are the meridians that we work with in our Yin classes. I'm going to visualize those meridians now, coursing with energy through the body. So visualizing now your kidney meridian, which runs from the small toe underneath the foot up through the insides of each leg, into the groin, and then in towards the spine. Visualize that energy that you're absorbing moving into the kidney meridian now. Stimulating the flow of energy with your mind. Visualizing now the liver meridian. The liver meridian also running through the legs, beginning at the big toe and running across the top of the foot and then up through the inside of the leg alongside the kidney meridian, up through the groin, into the spine, on towards the liver. Energy coursing through this meridian now. Visualizing energy charging and flowing up along the inside of both legs. Visualizing now the bladder meridian. Bladder meridian running along the back of the body, either side of the spine, and down through the backs of the legs. So visualizing energy moving through this meridian now, all the way through the back of the body, down through the backs of the legs. Visualizing energy now moving through the stomach and spleen meridians. Stomach and spleen meridians running from the collarbones down through the front of the body, down through the fronts of the legs, down to the second toe. Visualizing energy moving now through these meridians, coursing through. No blockages. A beautiful flow of energy moving through these meridians. Awareness now into the sides of the body, outsides of the legs, where we find the gallbladder meridian. Energy moving through these meridians now, either side of the body. Moving your awareness now into the upper body and beginning to visualize the heart meridian. This meridian running from the center of the body out through the arms. Similarly, the lung meridian, energy moving through the arms, all of these meridians responsible for our continued good health, well-being. Energy moving freely through these meridians, helping us to stay healthy and strong, physically and emotionally. So feeling your body coursing now with energy as you absorb energy through the earth and draw energy into the body through the lungs. Allowing yourself another 8 breaths here, breathing in energy, breathing smoothly. Whether we call that energy chi or prana, we continue to absorb and to breathe it in, re-energizing our bodies. And when you've taken your 8th exhalation, I'm going to begin to bring some gentle movement to the body. So beginning to move through fingers and toes, through hands and feet. So just getting a little movement, and then perhaps you stretch the body long if that feels nice. So reaching the arms back overhead, reaching through the feet, pointing and flexing through the feet. And then we're going to move straight into our first posture, which is a banana pose. So we'll take the opposite elbow into each hand. If we have any supports underneath the body, we'll need to remove those now, pop them off to the side. And then we'll lie back down. We'll take each elbow in the opposite hand. If that's not available to you, then just the forearm or wrists in the opposite hand. And then walk your right leg around to the right. Left leg follows, and then we turn the whole upper body around to the right. So we create that crescent or banana shape now with the body. We're still prone on the floor. And if it's available to you, you can cross that left ankle over the right. There's no need. If it just gives you a deeper stretch down through the side of the body, a deeper opening through the ribs and through the hips, as well as working a little more deeply into the spine. So feeling this posture now in the body. Closing the eyes, or if that's not comfortable, just a soft gaze. And just begin to notice how this posture feels in the body. Notice if you're holding yourself in any way, and see if you can release that hold. Relax any tension in the body. Perhaps after these first few moments you find that you settle into the posture a little, and you might like to deepen the posture. You might like to take it a little bit further. So you might creep the upper body a little further around, but only if that feels appropriate. So you're just noticing how the posture feels. You're maximizing that sense of opening down the left side of the body as you gently compress into the right side of the body. So working now into the gallbladder meridian along the sides of the body.
And also working through the kidney and liver meridians along the insides of the legs. Working through the bladder meridian as we work through the spine, as well as through the heart and lung meridians as we work through the upper body, reaching through the arms, opening through the chest, breathing smoothly. Taking 4 more breaths here, but feeling in for those 4 breaths so that you have this posture in your mind, all the sensations. Knowing this pose. And then when you've taken that 4th breath, we're going to bring the upper body back, walk the legs back to the center. We're going to reach long through the fingers, point through the toes, stretch out long. And we're going to move into the opposite side. So taking that left leg around now, right leg follows, and then the upper body also comes around to the left. So finding your way, perhaps you take that right ankle over the left. Again, purely optional. And then feeling into the posture. So letting go of any areas of tension. So letting the shoulders be heavy. Letting the arms be heavy. And no tension at all through the upper body. Noticing how that stretching sensation and opening sensation through the outside of the right hip compares with the opposite side. Perhaps you take a deeper or shallower crescent in this iteration of the pose. Perhaps one side you bend much more deeply than the other. And then, if you feel it's available, you can deepen a little into the posture, but only if that feels appropriate. And then allow your body just to take this shape. Seeing if you can soften the body just a little bit. Allow a little more heaviness into the body. We're taking 4 more breaths. Once you've taken that 4th exhalation, we'll bring the upper body back and then we'll uncross the ankles if they're crossed and take the legs back and reach again. So stretch the arms back, point through the toes and then flex the feet. From here, I'm going to move through a little bit of wipering. So just bringing the arms back beside the body, bending through the knees. And we'll bring the soles of the feet onto the mat, knees wide. And just allow a little wipering now, side to side, as shallow or as deep a movement as you feel you need. So you be guided by what feels appropriate now. Taking a few more breaths, so just releasing any tension from the spine, releasing a little through the hips. Then we're going to make our way up to a comfortable seat. So perhaps you roll to one side, or perhaps you roll yourself up. Once there, we come into a comfortable cross-legged position. Perhaps you have a support underneath, a block or a folded blanket if that feels best. We're just going to rest the hands onto the knees, palms down, and lengthen through the spine. So either closing the eyes or just keeping a soft gaze and allowing the shoulders just to fall down. So the crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. And everything else is effortless. So we keep the head nice and still, but we let the shoulders sink down a little more. Allow the legs to relax completely and let the belly relax now. So no holding the belly in, no tension there. Hands rest softly. The body's relaxed and calm, and we find that balanced breath now. Inhaling and exhaling for the same length of time. Breathing smoothly. And noticing any sensations through the spine, just as you sit now. Keeping a soft gaze towards the floor in front of you, just gently blink the eyes open. We're just going to move into a very gentle twisting pose. We're going to very carefully turn. I'll be your mirror, but you'll bring your right hand to the hip behind you, left hand over, and we're just going to gently twist to the side. So your left hand just above the left knee. Gently twist through the spine, very gently turning the head towards the right shoulder. So don't over twist here. Just a gentle twist. Keeping the belly still soft, even though we're twisting through the spine, the belly remains soft. On your next exhalation, just reverse, come back out. Take a breath looking forward, and then we'll move into the same posture on the opposite side. So left hand comes down beside the hip, right hand comes over just above the knee, and then we twist. Again, twisting gently through the neck as we turn the chin towards that left shoulder. See if you can relax the right shoulder a little. Belly soft, and breathe. Beautiful. On your next exhalation, just release. Take a breath forward, and then hands resting on the knees. We're going to move through a little gentle cat-cow. So as we inhale, we take the chin towards the ceiling, open through the shoulders, through the chest. Exhale and arch through the spine. Chin comes in towards the chest. Again, as you inhale, face towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding through the spine. So taking 4 more breaths like this, and perhaps you bring in a little organic movement as you breathe. There's no need to be too prescriptive about this. You just want to feel that you're releasing any tension from the spine through the shoulders. So just moving as you need. Taking a last breath. Coming back to a neutral position. And we're going to move into a butterfly pose now. You might like to take a block or a folded blanket or something underneath the hips for butterfly.
don't need to. I'm just going to turn so I can give you a little bit more of an indication. But if you're sitting onto something, whether it's a block or a bolster or a blanket, it helps you to tip forward a little bit. You might not need that help, but it can also give you a different perspective on the posture as well. So taking the feet out a little distance in front, we want quite a nice diamond shape. And then, whether you choose to use a prop or not, we start to fall forward. As we do, we start to soften through the spine, and we let the belly become heavy, so almost as though the belly were pouring through between the legs to the floor. When we're up on a support, it also gives us a little more sensation, gives us a little more ability to fall forward, to fall further forward. If you can allow the head to be heavy, please do. If it's not comfortable for you, you can support the head, or you can simply lengthen out of the posture a little and take a little of that pressure off the neck. So being mindful, supporting if you need, and then settling in. So any little adjustments that you need, making those as you go, but ultimately trying to remain still. In this posture, we start to release the tension that we initially begin with. It's a natural thing to hold the body in a particular way, in a protective way. But the longer we're here, the softer we can allow ourselves to become. So finding a little of that softness, a little of that heaviness now. Noticing the sensations that you feel in this posture and where you feel them. Perhaps you feel strongest sensation through the spine, particularly the lower spine and the cervical spine through the neck. Or perhaps you feel a deeper sensation through the hips and even through the groin. Some strong sensation can also be present through the legs, so that might be where you're feeling sensation now. So noticing where the sensation is strongest. Noticing if strong sensation causes tension through the shoulders. Seeing if you can soften that through the jaw. Working in this posture, visualizing again the bladder meridian along the back of the spine, backs of the legs, through the back of the hips, the outside blades of the feet, outsides of the legs. We're working again into the gallbladder meridian. And as we open out through the hips, the kidney and liver meridians. And taking just another 4 breaths, breathing smoothly. And then when you've taken your 4th breath, moving very gently, straightening through the arms, going to very carefully and slowly walk the hands back in towards the body. Bring them beside the hips. From here, we'll just use our hands to bring the knees together.
We'll walk them in a little bit so that we can hug the knees in towards the chest. So we're just going to hug the knees and let the chin fall towards the knees. Take just another 2 breaths like this. And then allow the head to lift. If you're sitting onto a prop, we're going to remove that now. We're going to make our way into a shoelace pose. So shoelace pose, a couple of different options for this one. Firstly, we can, and I'll be mirroring you, we're going to work by extending the left leg and bringing the right foot over. So as you extend that left leg, you bring the toes back towards you, and then you just cross the left leg over. From here, it may be that this is where you land in this pose. The options from here are to bring that right foot up beside the hip, so that now we have right knee almost directly above the left. Toes are still coming back towards the face initially, so that we really lengthen out through the back of the left leg. And then we sit tall. We then start to relax through the legs, so the toes just fall forward of the left leg. We start to relax a little through the right leg as well. If that feels very easily accessible to you, we can come into the full version of shoelace. And that involves taking the hands back a little and drawing that left leg around. So it's almost as though we're sitting squarely on the hips, and it's almost as though we're in cow face pose, if you know that from other forms of yoga. So the feet are out to the sides, knees are one above the other, and we're sitting nice and tall. If that feels too much, it's not for you, just extend that left leg back out in front, still getting all the benefits into the right leg and right hip. From here, we sit up tall, whichever variation we're in, and then we start to walk the body forward. Go really gently here, because we start to bring a bit of body weight onto the legs, and it starts to create some quite strong sensation. From here, we start to just soften the body. So you don't need to force the body down, you don't need to push yourself down. You'll start to feel, if you completely relax through the extended leg, if you have your left leg there, you'll start to feel some strong sensation into the back of that leg as you lower your body down. So let that guide you a little as to how deeply you fall forward. Notice too, if you're holding tension in the right leg, see if you can just relax that. So you want to be soft through the hips, hips just on the floor, sinking down into the mat. And then the work starts. The heavier the body becomes, the deeper the sensation. So just go with where you are. Notice those strong sensations. If you have that left leg extended, there'll be strong sensations through that leg. If you have knee tenderness, be very gentle here. Notice if the belly is still soft. Sometimes a good indication that we're straining a little, the belly will tighten, the breath will shorten. So we'll just let the breath find its way and send it into anywhere where the sensation is quite strong. So breathe into that space. Imagine again that energy coming through the breath down into the body, replenishing, restoring, nourishing. And allow yourself now another 4 breaths here. So if you can allow a little more heaviness into the body, do so, no force. Perfect.
Pressing down into the hands, we just straighten through the arms initially and then begin to walk them back in. It feels so nice to lift up off that leg. We'll bring the hands back behind. I generally stay up on the fingertips, but that's optional. And then we're just going to lift that right leg back out in front. Join the left if the left was there. Bring the left leg out if it wasn't. And then we point and flex a little through the feet. You might like to move, roll a little side to side. We're going to come into the same posture on the opposite side. So go gently, one side always different from the other. So this time, you're going to extend the right leg out and bring that left foot over. As you do that, right toes of the right foot come back towards you and you get that purchase on the mat. And we go gently from here. So perhaps you stay exactly like this now and just soften through that extended leg. Perhaps you bring that left foot around to the right hip. Perhaps you bring the right foot around also. So just seeing what level of the pose feels appropriate. If it's not appropriate for you, if it's starting to feel a little unbalanced, a little uneasy there, rather than prop it one way or the other, you're better off to just extend that right foot back out. So once we're set, if you do have the right foot extended, just bring the toes back one last time so that you get that length, and then we start to relax. So relax through the right leg, through the left, and let the body start to fall forward. Again, be gentle. It might be that the sensations are greater or lesser, but you won't know until you start, so go carefully. Once you find a depth where you're not pushing yourself, but you can feel a strong sensation, just stay there. Check in with the belly. Check in with the breath. It's a really strong one. And if we have any knee, hip issues, it can be particularly strong. So notice, are you able to soften a little through the shoulders, through the neck, through the belly? Again, allowing heaviness, not forcing or pushing, just allowing heaviness. And feeling into sensation now, so noticing strong sensation potentially through an extended right leg. Feeling through the back of that leg again into the bladder meridian along the back of the leg, with the weight resting onto the front of the right leg, also working into the stomach meridian, outside of the left leg, pressing down there, stimulating the gallbladder meridian. As we fold forward and allow our bellies to fall onto the legs and compress a little there, we work into the stomach and spleen meridians. So stimulating a movement of energy through the body. Strong postures. And really giving into gravity now. We're taking just another 4 breaths, so let gravity take control. When you've taken that 4th breath, again very gently, lifting the body, straightening through the arms, then walking the hands back, and again, we're going to very carefully take that left leg back to join the right and just point and flex a little, roll a little through the legs. Then we're going to make our way down onto the mat and just allow ourselves a little mini Shavasana. So we're just going to come down
Legs can be wide on the mat if that feels best. And then allow your body to soften down. If it feels more appropriate, to bend through the knees and bring the soles of the feet onto the mat, knees together, feet wide. Just come into constructive rest in that way, and that might support the lower back a little if it feels any discomfort in a totally reclined position. Once there, just going to soften the back of the body. So allow a little heaviness now to move into the back of the body. As you breathe, allow the belly to expand and contract. And begin to move your awareness from the heels up through the backs of the legs. So noticing sensation from those last postures through the backs of the legs. Both the shoelace and the butterfly poses offering some strong sensation. So perhaps there's some residual feeling there now. Feeling into the hips, noticing sensation there. The front of the hips perhaps feeling nice and open after compression in those postures. Feeling into the spine, all the way from the sacrum right up to the base of the skull. So notice any sensation remaining in the spine. Lots of forward bending, creating space through the vertebra, particularly the lower spine and the neck. So notice how that feels. And feeling into the shoulders, so releasing any tension from the shoulders now. Releasing any tension in the jaw. And taking just 4 more breaths. Having taken your 4th breath, you're going to lengthen through the legs and stretch the body long to begin. So reach the arms back, point and flex through the feet, through the toes. And then bringing the hands beside the body, bending through the knees. And again, a little gentle wipering, just releasing any tension from the lower back through the hips. Moving gently, as much or as little as you need. Then we're going to make our way up to a seat. So either rolling up or rolling to one side. And coming into a comfortable seat once more. This time we're going to move a little, twisting but with a little motion. So we're going to breathe in and bring the arms up overhead. As we exhale, we're going to twist left hand in front, right behind, and long through the spine. Good. Take a breath. On your next inhale, arms come overhead and forward. And we exhale, twist in the opposite direction. Again, taking another breath. And then moving one breath, one movement. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. We'll take one more each side as you inhale. And exhale. Perfect. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, hands come back up overhead. Exhale all the way down beside the body. I'm going to move into our back bending poses today, and we have 2 of them. The first we're going to do is a supported bridge pose.
So for supported bridge, you can either use a rolled up blanket or bolster or a block or something similar. So I'm going to demonstrate with a block, but if you have a bolster, it's simply a matter of lying down first and then popping whichever prop you're going to use underneath you. So try not to lean back over the prop to get into the position. So we want to start from a lying down position. If you're using a block or something like that, you lift the hips up and pop it under. Must go under that flat part of the sacrum there. You don't want to have it on the spine. So it's that flat part of the pelvis. Legs then extend. If that doesn't feel comfortable, bend through the knees, soles of the feet on the mat, reposition. So make sure that your prop feels secure, that allows you to relax your weight onto it. And then lengthen through the legs. Perhaps you take the arms out to the side, perhaps you take them back overhead. You're just deciding for yourself what's the best position for your arms, and then relaxing the body. So normal initially to hold a little tension as we set up in this posture, not knowing if we can quite trust our support to fully support us. But as we soften into the pose and realize that our prop will bear our weight, closing down the eyes and allowing the sensations to develop. So noticing how this feels as you work into your back bending posture. As you bend through the spine, you also open in this posture through the pelvis. So you feel that sense of opening through the front of the body. And perhaps you feel, depending on the height of your support, there might be a little sense of compression at the base of the throat. So notice if that's the case. If it is, you can just open the throat a little. Perhaps take a little more of the back of the head onto the mat. So still drawing energy into the body with the breath. See if you can release the body over your support now. So every exhalation, just find a little more softness, a little more heaviness. It's a beautiful posture to open through the front of the hips. Release all that tension and compression that we so often force into this area. Working in this posture through the bladder meridian, also working into the kidney and liver meridian as we work into the pelvis. And if we take the arms out and overhead, we tend to work as well into the heart and lung meridians. So we stretch through the front of the body, stomach and spleen. So a beautiful posture for stimulating the flow of energy through these areas. Taking just another 4 breaths here. So breathing smoothly.
And that fourth breath, moving very gently, bending through the knees. So bring the soles of the feet back onto the mat. Take a breath there. Then, pressing down into the soles of the feet, lifting the hips, removing your support off to the side, allowing the lower spine to come back towards the mat, and draw the knees in towards the chest now. So hug them in. Really roll and massage through the lower back now. Perhaps you make little circles, perhaps you roll a little side to side. You're just massaging through the lower spine. From here, we take the soles of the feet down to the mat, knees together, feet wide, and begin with very gentle movements, wipering the legs, but perhaps you open those out a little wider as you go, but start small. Just allow any tension now to be released through the lower spine, through the hips. And we're going to make our way up again, and we're going to come into child's pose. So finding your way to child's pose. Perhaps you roll up, perhaps you turn to one side, whichever way you choose to go. We're going to sit our hips down onto the heels and reach the arms forward this time. So rather than take them back beside the heels, we'll keep them reaching forward and allow the forehead to fall down towards the earth. If you feel that you need a prop, you can use one forearm underneath the forehead. And just letting the hips be heavy and really stretching out through the back of the body now. So just as you bent the spine in one direction through your back bend, you're now bending it through the other direction and giving it a little relief. So stretching out all those areas that were compressed. Just seeing if you can feel the breath move all the way through the back of the body. Perhaps you can feel the breath all the way down to the hips as you inhale. Allowing yourself another 4 breaths here, breathing smoothly, nice and evenly, finding balance always in the breath. When you've taken your 4th breath, we're going to begin to lift up onto hands and knees. And we're going to move into our second back bend. We're going to come into a puppy pose. So we're going to keep the hips up nice and high. And then we're going to reach the arms forward, fingers spread wide, and then we're going to lower the body down. So we bring the forehead towards the mat. If you feel you have space and you'd like to go a little further, you can bring the chin towards the mat. But be guided by what feels appropriate. If they both feel too strong for the shoulders, again, one forearm can come underneath the forehead. Support the head in that way. Take a little pressure off the shoulders. So keeping the hips high and allowing that curve into the spine. Melting your heart down towards the mat. If you do have one forearm underneath the forehead, then swapping that forearm now. Otherwise, we're taking just another 8 breaths here.
smooth and balanced. Arms reaching long. When you've taken that 8th breath, we lift the body gently, lean slightly forward, take a little pressure out of the shoulders, and then we'll walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to move through a little cat-cow. So as you inhale, take the chin towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, really arch through the spine now. Perhaps even push back a little, hips towards the heels. Inhale, gliding forward. Exhale, arching the spine. Take 4 more breaths like this, and again, your variation. So perhaps you move a little sideways. Perhaps you take one ear to the shoulder. You're just moving as you feel appropriate. Releasing tension. And we're going to make our way back onto our spines. So coming gently down. And once there, we're going to hug the knees in. So knees draw in as close as we can to the chest. So we're going to hug them in. We're going to release the arms out to the side. Perhaps you take cactus arms or arms wide if you have space. And then we're just going to allow the legs to drop over to the right. So we're going to keep them high, and that way we'll feel a twist further up the spine. So the higher the knees are, the higher up the spine you'll feel that twist. So we allow the legs to go to the right, and perhaps we turn the face to the left if that feels okay for your neck. If it doesn't, then just allow the back of the head to remain resting on the mat. Relax the arms, relax the legs. So let there be heaviness through the legs now. If you need to adjust the placement of the legs, feel free to do that. Find a little softness, a little stillness, so that you can work into the spine. Taking just another 4 breaths. Again, drawing that energy into the body with every breath. Absorbing energy through the earth. As you inhale now, lift the legs back to center. Take a breath. And then, as you exhale, keep the knees high and bring them over to the left. Perhaps you turn the head to the right, but only if that feels appropriate for your neck. If it doesn't, then just leave the back of the head on the mat and breathe. Heavy legs, heavy shoulders, breathing smoothly. Compare the feeling, one side of the body with the other. Breathing. Taking 4 more breaths. There's a softness in the belly. Then when you've taken that 4th exhalation, we come back onto the spine.
And this time we hug the knees in. Perhaps you even bring your forehead in towards the knees. Releasing. We'll bring the feet to the outside edges of the mat, knees together, arms wherever it's comfortable for you, and gently wipering. So just let one leg, then the other drop in. No force, just allow. And then coming through any final movement that you feel you need to take before we have a brief Shavasana. So perhaps you come through Happy Baby, holding onto the outside blades of the feet, knees in towards the armpits, as much of the spine on the mat as you can manage. So rolling a little side to side, massaging again through the spine, through the back of the hips. Taking just another breath or two, and then finding your way down, reaching the legs long. If that's not comfortable, find a support for underneath the knees. Find a blanket if you feel that would be appropriate, and then allow your body just to rest down onto the mat. So take time to get comfortable now. You want to really allow your body to fully relax, fully release. When you're set, closing down the eyes, take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh that breath out through the mouth. Do that 2 more times. Breathe deeply in and out through the mouth. Last one, deep breath in. Let it go. And then just relax your body. Relax your breathing. Let the whole back of the body begin to sink down into the mat. So every time you exhale, you feel you're making a little deeper impression into the mat. Heavier and heavier. Allow the front of the body to relax. Shoulders falling open. The back of the body feels heavy and the front of the body feels light. And just as you did at the beginning of the practice, allow yourself to draw in beautiful energy through the nose with every breath, nourishing, absorbing energy from the earth and resting. Breathe in with me the rhythm of mountain streams. Breathe in the hypnotizing cadence of waves breaking on the shore. Breathe in the peace that plays just beyond the agitated surface
of the lake. Find the breath that expresses your connection to the silence, to abiding forgiveness, to the shining insight of spirit in your heart. Your own true breath can release you from the prison of your fears and plumb the depths of your awareness. It all starts here, the choice to breathe, to relax, and to feel. The choice to witness without judgment and allow the truth of life to be revealed. Beginning to bring your awareness back into this space. Feeling the rise and fall of your belly with the breath. Enjoying each and every breath. And then beginning to bring some gentle movement to the body. Fingers and toes, hands and feet. If it feels comfortable for you, perhaps you stretch the body long, reaching the arms back overhead, pointing, flexing through the feet, and then rolling onto your preferred side. So stay there, eyes closed, breathe. Just enjoy this last moment, this space. And then again, with eyes closed, if you can, making your way up to a seated position on the mat. Just resting the hands comfortably on the knees initially, palms face down. Take a moment to feel balanced through the base of the body, so connecting down to the earth through the hips, long through the spine, belly soft, and the breath gently deepening. And bringing the palms together and taking them up to the third eye for clarity, bringing them to the lips for truth and to the heart for compassion. We'll close our class with one round of Om. If you'd like to join me, inhaling deeply now to chant. And bowing your head slightly towards your hands, just acknowledging everybody's energy this morning. Thank you so much for participating and sharing that energy. Hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.